2 weeks. That's how long that KFC drumstick sat in my backpack. No freak, no container, just sitting there. And when I finally found it, it looked exactly the same. Same color, same texture, no mold, no smell, nothing. Now compare that to real food. Leave homemade chicken out for even 2 days, and it starts turning into a science experiment. So what's going on here? What kind of food doesn't break down, doesn't change, doesn't even react to time? Because whatever that was in my bag, it didn't feel like food anymore. And once you start asking that question, you realize this goes way deeper than just one piece of chicken. A real piece of fried chicken is simple. Chicken, flour, salt, maybe a few spices. That's it. You can make it in your own kitchen without needing a chemistry degree. But once you start digging into what's actually used in fast food versions, things get a little strange. Ingredient lists stretch longer than you'd expect, filled with names most people can't even pronounce. Preservatives to extend shelf life. Additives to control texture. Flavor enhancers designed to make every bite hit the same way, every single time. It's not just cooking anymore, it's formulation. And here's the part most people don't think about. Food like this isn't designed to be fresh. It's designed to survive, to sit, to travel, to last longer than real food ever should. That's why it can look the same days later, because breaking down isn't part of the plan. But ingredients are just the surface. Because what's happening before that chicken even reaches the fryer is where things start to get even more unsettling. Before that chicken ever hits the fryer, its journey is a lot less kitchen and a lot more factory. Reports from former workers and industry insiders suggest that much of it doesn't arrive fresh or hand-prepared. It shows up pre-breaded, pre-seasoned, and frozen in bulk, ready to be dropped straight in a hot oil. Think about that for a second. The flavor, the texture, even the crunch, it's all decided long before it reaches the store. What you're eating isn't crafted on-site. It's assembled from a system designed for speed and consistency. And that explains something most people never question. Why every piece tastes exactly the same. No variación, no surprises. Just identical bites over and over again. Because the goal isn't quality, it's uniformity. It's been said that in large-scale food production, consistency matters more than freshness. Every piece has to match expectations, no matter where you are. And when food becomes that predictable, you have to wonder how much of it is still real cooking. And if the chicken itself is this processed, wait until you see what they serve on the side. You'd think the sides would be the safe part. Simple, familiar, almost homemade. But this is where the illusion really starts to fall apart. Take mashed potatoes. They look smooth, creamy, comforting. But it's been said that in many fast food kitchens, they don't start as potatoes at all. They start as dry flakes in a bag. Add hot water, stir, and suddenly it looks like the real thing. No peeling, no boiling, no actual process you'd expect from real food. The gravy often comes from a pre-mixed powder. Just add water, heat it up, and pour. Same with mac and cheese. Soft noodles covered in a bright, artificial-looking sauce that tastes salty, but somehow still empty. It's food designed to mimic comfort, not deliver it. Everything looks right on the surface, but underneath, it's all shortcuts. Faster, cheaper, more consistent. And once you realize how much of the meal is built this way, it makes you question something bigger. Because if even the simple sides are this processed, what does that say about the parts marketed as healthier? This is where most people get caught off guard, the healthy section of a menu. Because on paper, it sounds like a better choice. Grilled chicken instead of fried. A sandwich instead of a bucket. Maybe a salad on the side. It feels like you're making progress. But when you look closer, the numbers tell a different story. It's been said that some grilled chicken options still carry surprisingly high sodium levels, sometimes not far off from the fried versions. And that light chicken sandwich, it can still pack hundreds of calories in a single meal, especially once you add sauces, cheese, and buns designed for taste more than nutrition. Even sides and extras play into it. Dressings, spreads, and marinades quietly stack up sugar, salt, and fats in ways most people don't notice until later. And that's the trap. It doesn't feel like fast food anymore. It feels like a smarter decision, a controlled choice. But in reality, it's still built on the same foundation. Engineered flavor designed to keep you satisfied just long enough to come back again. And if the healthy option isn't really that different, Then the real question becomes, what happens when people go for the extreme menu items instead? This is where fast food stops pretending to be normal. Because every few months, something new shows up on the menu that makes people stop and stare. A sandwich with donuts instead of buns. Fried chicken stacked with cheese, bacon, or even more fried chicken. Items that feel less like meals and more like experiments. It's been said these kinds of creations aren't really meant to become everyday food. They're designed for attention, for photos, for headlines. Something shocking enough to go viral before it disappears again. And that's the pattern. The more extreme it looks, the more people talk about it. Not because it's balanced or practical, but because it breaks expectations. A burger without a bun. Chicken where bread should be. Sugar, salt, and fat pushed to their limits in one bite. But here's the strange part. After the hype fades, most people don't go back for a second order. They try it once, post about it, and move on. Because deep down, it's not built for satisfaction. It's built for curiosity. And that raises a bigger question. If food is being engineered to grab attention instead of actually nourish you, what is it really doing to the way we eat every day? This is the part most people never notice because it doesn't feel like control, it feels like craving. You tell yourself you're just hungry, but it happens at the same time every week. Same drive, same smell, same decision made in seconds without thinking. Fast food isn't just about taste. It's about chemistry. The combination of salt, fat, and sugar hits the brain in a very specific way, triggering reward signals that make you want more, even after you're already full. It's been said this isn't accidental. It's carefully balanced to keep that response consistent every time. And then there's the behavior side. Bigger drinks, combo upgrades, just add a little more for cheap. Each step nudges you into eating more than you planned. Not through force, but through habit. Before long, it stops feeling like a choice. You're not deciding to go there. You're reacting to it, driving past, smelling it, seeing it, and suddenly you're in the line without remembering when you decided. And that's the real shift. Because once food becomes a trigger instead of a decision, the question isn't what you're eating anymore. It's what's controlling the craving in the first place. At some point, one guy decided to test something simple. No dramatic challenge. No social media stunt. Just a basic idea. What happens if you stop eating KFC for 30 days? The first few days were rough. Not because he was starving, but because of habit. Driving past familiar places suddenly felt different. The smell hit harder. The routine felt like it was still there, even when the food wasn't. It's been said that cravings don't always come from hunger. They come from repetition. But after a week, something shifted. The constant urge started fading. Meals felt lighter. Energy didn't spike and crash the same way. Even sleep changed, deeper, more consistent. It wasn't one big transformation, just small things stacking up. By the second half of the month, the craving wasn't really about food anymore. It was about memory, the idea of it, the habit of it, not the actual meal. And when the 30 days ended, he did something unexpected. He went back, walked in, ordered like before, but this time it didn't feel the same. The taste was familiar, but the reaction wasn't. Something had changed. Because once you step away long enough, you start realizing the difference between wanting something and just being used to it. In the end, fast food was never just about chicken, fries, or a bucket meal. It's about an illusion that feels like comfort, nostalgia, and convenience all at once. The branding tells one story, but the reality is built in factories, systems, and decisions designed for speed and consistency, not freshness or care. And that's the part most people never stop to question, because it doesn't feel like a choice anymore. It feels normal, automatic, almost harmless. But once you see how it's built, you can't really unsee it. And suddenly, every bite comes with a question, not just about taste, but about what you've been trained to crave.